AskReddit. What felt like a useless piece of advice until you actually tried it? This too shall pass. On those days when I just feel like I can't take it, I think of that, and I know tomorrow will be different. Someone once told me, tomorrow may not be better, but at least it'll be different. In a strange way, that too is comforting. Once begun is half done. I'm a terrible procrastinator by nature. I have totally done the well now at 5:02, so I have to wait until 6 o'clock to start cleaning, and I like making things seem like so much work that I can't possibly do them unless I take time off of work. In reality, if you just start a project without thinking about it, you can get everything done in like 15 minutes a day, and it's never really that bad. Keeping my shoulders back. It was a suggestion I saw for preventing panic/anxiety. IDK what it is, but when your shoulders are in that position it gives some strange feeling of control. I also read somewhere that during panic attacks the body basically wants to curl into fetal position for protection. So I feel like focusing on keeping your arms down and shoulders back is a conscious way to go against that and stay grounded in reality. Works for me, could work for you too. My grandfather told me this, and I never understood it until I had my own place. Always buy the cheap tools at first, and if you wear it out/break it, then you use it enough to justify getting a nicer, more expensive one. My dad always told me ask anyway. The worst they can say is no when buying something, or when I needed something from another person. Seemed stupid to ask. If I was sure they would say no, but I was also a socially anxious kid. Turns out that advice has helped me with school, with raises, with people in general, with plans with new friends. Another thing, a stupid question is better than a stupid mistake. That forest app. It grows a tree for up to 2 hours, and during that time, you can't access any apps you think will distract you. If you wanna open a distracting app, you'd have to kill your tree. All your trees, dead or alive, appear in a little forest. I have always had trouble motivating myself to focus on homework and not look at Reddit/YouTube, but this app is just enough guilt to not open them. I haven't killed anything yet, and I'm surprised at how much I can care about a small virtual tree. People told me about it, and I just completely assumed that I'd never use it, or it wouldn't work for me considering how distractible I am, but it works wonders. There's what you need, there's what you want, and there's what you can't afford. My dad says this all the time, and I never thought of it as useless, I just never used it. Now I have, and my money is far easier to manage. If you can tell that someone is going to hit you, tilt your head down. Teeth don't grow back. Your jaw is lights out. If they punch the top of your skull, they will probably break their hand. Always be drunk. Putting cold water on freshly shaved skin will make it so you don't get ingrown hairs. Some of the best advice I've ever received. Your gums bleed when you floss because you don't floss enough. Turns out, if you floss enough, your gums won't be inflamed, so they don't bleed when you floss. Directly expressing my needs instead of hinting. That's secret. #1 for a successful, long-lasting marriage. #2 is, marriage is work, but it's worth it. Edit. Thanks for all the comments, upvotes, and silver. Source, I'm old, married long time, don't suffer future pain. In other words, worrying about all the stuff that could happen stops you from doing things, and worse, turns potential pain into actual worry and mental pain. Compliment people behind their backs. Sounds stupid but works wonders. Spend an extra $5 to $10 on wiper blades. If you have a clogged nose, doing 8 to 10 push-ups will temporarily clear it up. Cleaning your house before leaving for more than 5 days. Nothing is better than coming to a clean house. I travel a lot for work and can sometimes be gone for 2 to 3 weeks at a time. There is nothing worse than finally coming home and remembering how bad you left the place. I'll learn this real quick and make a point to clean up before I leave. Fans on my old MacBook died. saw a YouTube video that said to simply take your fist and bang on the part of the computer that housed the fans. Thinking it was a troll, I gave it a shot out of pure frustration, and lo and behold, they purred back to life and I never had another issue with them for the rest of the time that I owned that computer. Back when iPods were all the rage, mine got an error. I googled the error, and the fix was to drop it from about 6 inches. I did so thinking at worst my broken iPod will be more broken, but it started right up. As someone with a phobia of needles my entire life, I finally, 30 years in, had a nurse tell me to ask for a spare alcohol pad and sniff it right as I'm about to get jabbed. She said the harsh smell is enough of a distraction to keep your mind off the needle. I was there for a flu shot, so I got to try it out right away. I wasn't expecting much, but it worked. I've been doing it ever since, and have no trouble with shots or blood draws now, which is huge for someone they've triggered panic attacks and near fainting in before. Exercising helping with depression and anxiety. It's not a cure-all, and I needed to be on meds to get to the point where I could do it, but it really does help me. I've been off my meds now for over a year, under doctor's supervision. Don't stop taking your meds unless you run it by your doctor, and when I can't exercise for a few days, I can feel the depression and anxiety coming back. Now instead of going through a million things I did wrong in my head, I run for 3 miles or lift some heavy shit. Unclench your jaw, open your hands, drop your shoulders, and breathe in. Pay bills, save, then spend. In regards to saving, I was always told pay your bills, pay yourself, then It's been helping me stay focused in the now. My grandma, rest her soul, gave me a similar piece of advice, but with a variant. If you feel like you can't survive a week, focus on getting through one day. One day too much, 1 hour too much, 1 minute. Whatever it takes. If you can survive one, you can survive another. Not taking your cell phone into bed with you. After a while you will sleep much easier without the distraction and blue light shining straight into your eyes before bed. Stick to the same sleep schedule on your days off that you follow on days when you have to be somewhere at a specific time, like school or work days. I spent my whole life sleeping until noon on weekends, thinking I was storing sleep in some imaginary sleep bank. I recently started waking up early on weekends, and now I don't have trouble waking up when my alarm goes off during the week. Plus I have all this extra time to do stuff, because I'm not sleeping all day. Go to the bathroom first thing after having sex. Try killing roaches with soapy water in a spray bottle. It sounds useless, but it works better than any insecticide I've ever tried, and it's non-toxic and really easy to clean up. It's better to lose a second of your life than to lose your life in a second. People on the road need to just slow down a little. It'll save your life. And stay off your goddamn phone. In addition to this, if someone is going fast, just let them pass you. Don't be the asshole that drives aggressively to combat that, because it makes everything worse. Turn it off and turn it back on. This applies to everything that has a computer or any sort of electronic. People laugh at me when I ask them, have you tried turning it off and back on again? Practice gratitude. Grateful people are happy people. This includes just saying thank you anytime someone does something. Everyone likes to be acknowledged for something, even if it's something small, and just making other people a little happier makes you happier, and I imagine even just noticing how much others do for you is bound to help. Flip a coin and choose the one you're hoping for. I don't even have to flip a coin now, and I'm way more decisive. If you feel like quitting, then just tell yourself that the story doesn't end this way. Sounds cliche, but you decide when your story ends, when you stop trying. You may fail, but you will not fail today. Don't let the story end this way. Don't half-ass 2 things. Whole-ass 1 thing. Before I do anything, I ask myself, would an idiot do that? And if the answer is yes, I do not do that thing. Just don't drink today. Surely you can do that. Then just repeat. It's been 19+ years. Fill your tank all the way up instead of a little at a time. The less fuel in my motorcycle, the easier she'll wheelie. Yeehaw, brother. When you're trying to fall asleep and your mind is racing thinking about a million things at once, making it impossible to fall asleep, do this. Pick a letter of the alphabet, count to 8. When you get to 8, think of a word that starts with your letter, count to 8 again, think of a different word that starts with that letter. Repeat ad nauseam, you'll distract your brain and bore it to sleep. Faking confidence to become more confident. Experience is what you get when you don't get what you want. Don't stop or change what you are doing when giving oral sex to a female. Going to therapy. I'm a guy. I'm emotionally stable, so I thought it was a pointless idea. Went with my ex-GF in order to work out problems in our relationship, mostly on her end. I learned so much about myself and got some amazing life advice. 10/10. Lefty loosey, righty tighty. I say this under my breath every time I'm tightening or loosening something. Smiling at people. You can get a lot just from a simple smile. Stop chasing girls. Most times now they notice me as an individual, not as someone begging for a girlfriend. This seems really counterintuitive, but I can confirm it works. They can smell the desperate yawn coming off you. When I gave up and worked on personal projects, I found a lot more success with women. That said, you still have to be in an environment that leads to talking with people. Giving up doesn't mean to sit in your apartment and mope. It means to not have getting a girl as the goal for the day while you're out and about. On my wedding day, my grandmother said to me, never do anything around the house that you don't plan on doing for life. At the time I thought it was a terrible advice. When I was mowing the lawn at 7 1/2 months pregnant, I got what she meant.